Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it is, as she likes to say, Miss Aprylete Day.
That's
Hello, Aprylete. How are you?
Hello, Sybil. I am great. It is one day closer to the weekend, so you know me.
I know. And as our
Good.
friend Justice likes me to say, so happy it's Thursday.
So happy it's Thursday.
I
Oh, shout
just,
out to JB.
I just like the acronym.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You want to give the acronym for the folks? Do y'all know the acronym, y'all?
the acronym for so happy it's Thursday. Put the first letter of all those words together, and you got it. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm good. This week was. Hmm. Hmm. I'm like now that I kind of doing a little reflection on this week. This week wasn't bad.
Okay.
Wasn't necessarily like good. Like no real highs, no real lows.
It
Just
was
right
meh.
in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
been like that for a couple of weeks, just right in the middle. So I guess that's
Okay.
okay.
Not too high, not too low, but
Right in the middle.
right
What
in the
about
middle.
you?
Um, it's been a week.
It's been
It's
a
been a
week.
week. It's been a week. Yeah, but you know what? So happy it's Thursday,
There we
and and hang in
go.
there, baby, because Friday's coming.
That's right.
You
That's
know.
right. That's
Yeah.
half the battle.
Exactly. Exactly. I hope everyone is having a great day. It was a lovely day here in Dallas Fort Worth. Went to yoga, didn't get a lot of yoga done, but had an opportunity to have a nice lunch and then get about the business of newspaper, the newsletter work, as well as preparing for this cast. So it's all good.
All right. And when you say you went to yoga but didn't get much yoga done, did you at
Sometimes,
least stretch your body?
well, I did, but it wasn't in yoga. I stretched before I got to yoga and also just stretching now, but I didn't get a lot of stretching in. Sometimes we go to yoga and it's not for the purpose of
Yeah.
stretching,
Uh-huh.
and but it is for the purpose of fellowship and sisterhood, and that was what it was today.
Okay, and that right there, that marks off something that we need to have a healthy life is that
Yeah.
friendship, sisterhood, that camaraderie, that talking,
Yep.
catching up. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have that?
Do I have what, Sybil? Because where are you going with this? Do I have what?
No, I'm not go. I don't have a. I don't have an any kind of destination in mind. Just a question: do you have fellowship and sisterhood of friends?
Mm, I'm starting to create it. There we go.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm starting to create that. It was definitely difficult moving from city to city.
Mm-hmm.
And then really being open and willing to, because I get in my shell in my little bubble and I'm a hermit and I'm okay with that because I have Gucci, I got God. I mean, what else do I need?
Right.
So now being open and willing to kind of like enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm creating that as we speak.
And I understand that, in my early days of radio, moving to like one, two, three different cities, and not knowing anybody, not knowing a
Mhm.
soul in any of those cities, and because of my hours for my last job in Charlotte, I really didn't make friends except for the guys that I worked with. There were no
Mm,
women on the staff to kind of have that friendship with, and I missed it.
yeah.
And then I moved home to Chicago, and then moving here, I developed a friendship with Yolanda, and then and as she tells me, with her, I don't need any other friends. So no, but
Period.
you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
really good to have that, and it does open up your world to see from different people's eyes,
Yeah.
get different perspectives on things and opinions and what have you. And so I highly recommend it,
Mm,
and to get a variety of friends
yes.
of various age ranges.
Yes.
Those like you are generation what? Generation double
Um,
A.
I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial.
You
Sure,
don't ever want to give me millennial. I'm a millennial.
sure you are. And today, we had a wide range of, not a wide range, but a range of girlfriends to talk to and stuff, and it's really great to get perspective on things. And one of the things I talk about a lot, Aprilette, and this might not work for you, and you can tell me if you agree on this or not, but do young people want advice? Do they seek it as a rule?
Sybil,
You
this
know
is
what?
so good. Hold on for a second. This is so good. I'm really interested in this conversation. But you're
We're
like, who is that? It's the voice of God. No, I'm
it's
kidding. Aprilette, what we need you to do is we need you to change the earpiece. So instead of the one you have in, put the other one in. So if that's in your ear, put the other one in
Oh, it
instead.
was this one at 1st.
Okay.
This is a new one.
Okay. All right, cool. All right.
okay.
Continue, Aprilette. I'm I am glued to your lips. Go.
I love that. But you were saying, Sybil, about the advice,
About
right?
having a variety of people in your life, and those that have the wealth of experience, and also you seek
Hmm.
sometimes advice from them, or are you one of those? And I'm not making this a pejorative statement. Are you a young person who feels that you got it all together and you don't need advice from people?
Absolutely not. And you've met me before. Absolutely not. I think that I am always in a space seeking wiser counsel. I think that around my friend groups, we do this like me and my best friend, like my best
Hmm.
friend, sometimes when we tell stories, we'll start it off like, hey, are you seeking advice, coaching, a
Right,
listening ear, or feedback? And
right.
so that's how we kind of set the tone for like major conversations. And so I'm always looking for like wise counsel, and it's actually good. And sometimes again it could be like, hey, I just want a little feedback, or hey, I just want you to listen. And that's how I operate. So I can't really speak for all young folks, but for me that's how I operate, especially in my 30s. Now
Hmm.
when you're younger, I could see like, oh, I kind of know everything. I got this, I'm not listening. But I really never been that girl either. Like I've always been open and willing, and I've had mentors and things like that that have been older than me.
Hmm.
And even outside of being older, just doing opposite than me, because they may have a knowledge in the field, but they may be my same age.
Right,
So,
right,
mhm.
right. It's really interesting, especially in dealing with young people, because you are one of the more mature younger people I know, and there's nothing like a know-it-all. Doesn't want
Yeah,
to, doesn't want to seek counsel, or doesn't want to look at the big picture and how this will affect the rest of your life.
that's what I'm running into with the younger generations, like the 20 somethings, like my little brother's age, the 22, the 24. And I'm just like, goodness, baby.
Hmm.
Like, like if you just stop and listen,
Yeah.
just listen for a second, because there's always like a combative type of spirit. And it also kind of maybe makes you look at yourself and like, what does your tone sound like? Like, how are you?
Yeah, kind of look at yourself and go, well,
Mhm.
what am I putting out there?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
Yeah.
and one thing I learned last night, and then I know we have to move on, but I was in Bible study and we talked about communication and
Mm.
just how important communication is. And there are certain things that we are missing when we're communicating with others. And
Mhm.
one is just communicating from the spirit.
Mm.
And you can really communicate in the spirit before you open your mouth. And so when you're just mindful of that, when you're going into communicating with in relationships, then that could
Mhm.
definitely help for sure.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
It was
I
it was
love that. And I would like to continue this conversation at another time, and perhaps with a group of us having that conversation, because I
yeah.
really think that it's valuable, and I'd like to get the input of others. As I always say, there are three things I like to do every day. I love a good cup of coffee. I love to laugh, and I want to learn something. And so, learning from others is the first step in all of that. So, thank you
Absolutely.
so much for indulging me in the conversation. As Yolanda's probably pulling her hair out. Like, so let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter, and this is where we have stories that we curate and that we share with others, and most importantly, give them to you from an African American perspective. Some things that I do on the national political scene, it might not seem like it is necessary for us to, or where's the Black folks angle, but if it's a national political story, uh, you can bet you by golly wow, as Yolanda would say, that it's going to have some effect and some interest to Black people. So,
Absolutely.
Miss Aprylete is our mental health and wellness contributor, and she wrote about how a teenage girl used AI to combat mental health challenges. Tell us all
Yeah.
about that.
I thought this was pretty interesting because when you think about teenagers, right, the younger generation, and just all the things that they're dealing with and whatnot, creating something like this just shows that mental health is important, and her wanting to bring awareness is just super dope to me. So she's 14 years old. Her mother shared a TikTok of her invention, and this is an AI chat box. So right now, AI is under a lot of scrutiny, really, because
Mm-hmm.
everything that it does is kind of scary. But she's using it for good. So when she created this, she's been in tech since she was about 6 years old. She did a black girls, she did a black girls tech program and things like that. So she really learned how to code and engineering and things like that. So with the chat box, one thing on TikTok they showed, when you kind of type in a question, it will answer you with some positive affirmations and some mental health tools to kind of help you throughout situations.
Mm.
And so that was all revealed on TikTok. And then I ended up doing a little bit more research, and hers is not public right now, but
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of free chat box mental health tools that are out there. And so the upside of that, it's free and it's 24-hour access and you can ask it anything. The downside is that it's not FDA regulated. So you can't necessarily get a diagnosis, which I wouldn't suggest you go to AI and try to get a diagnosis, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of people out here that may not have the resources, that may not know where to turn to. So they may look
Sure.
to something like that for a diagnosis. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be really careful when you're using these AI chatbots. But like I said, when I did the research, there's hundreds of them out there, really trying to combat mental health issues. So she is just like one of many people that are now using AI intelligence for, you know, good, I guess we should say.
Yep, for good. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence it has a negative connotation for a lot of
Yeah.
us, but this is using AI or artificial intelligence for good. And I love the fact this little girl, this teenager, young woman, has been, in the tech sphere since
Yes,
she
and
was
she was
6.
sick. I know. I'm like, at 6, I was definitely,
Excuse me.
God bless you.
Thank
I
you.
was definitely on, like, you know those little hand games that girls used to play? That was me. Yes, mama, mama, can't you see? Yeah, that was me, and playing double dutch. I wasn't thinking about technology, but I mean, times have changed for sure. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
yeah,
would love to find out more about her and perhaps have her come on and talk about this at
that
some
would be
point.
great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that would be
absolutely.
great.
One of the other areas that we delve into on a regular is social justice, and contributor Coy Malone continues her Black Voters Matter series about the offices about which we need to know and include when we go to the polls this year, this election year. In this installment, she talks about district attorneys, what their roles are and why they matter to us. Take a look at this because district attorneys have an effect on a lot of us, either personally, directly, or through a family member or a friend, and people who are caught in the law. And
Mhm.
the decisions made by a district attorney can affect families and generations to come.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about that. They always kind of think maybe just straight to the judge
Right.
and not the district attorney. And
Yeah,
the
their recommendations, whether they're even going to be charged with something and arrested, can make a big difference. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially among Black people, we've seen some more liberal district attorneys, oftentimes people of color,
Mhm.
who come into the job, and their decisions can go a long way and will make a difference in whether your brother, your sister, your nephew, your niece, your boyfriend will be arrested
Yeah.
and have to go to trial, or whether some sort of reconciliation will be made, and the sentence is not as drastic as years in prison.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
So
important.
it makes a big difference. And so please take a look at the What You Need to Know newsletter. Those are the kinds of things that are in today's newsletter, and that we have on the regular. We'd love to have you subscribe. Please go to sybylwilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday. And as a part of that, it won't cost you a dime, not even the thinnest little penny. And if you're having issues, let us know here, and we can get our tech person, our tech whiz, Chica, on that, and perhaps because I'm not the one, and I will say, but my friends and family are like, I'm not getting my newsletter, and there is a technical reason for this. but I can't help you. But all I can do is take your email address and pass it on to somebody who can help us.
Yeah.
And even I, have days where I don't get the newsletter. I do what she tells me. Check your junk mail. Check your
Mm-hmm.
spam,
Bam.
and all of that. But really, trust and believe. I can talk it, but can't do anything beyond that. So that is the What You Need to Know newsletter. And let us move to, um, I had a suggestion for the What's Really Going On question today, but I think I'm going to go with something a little lighter and a little bit more fun. One of the national days observed this month is National Don't Go to Work Unless It's Fun Day. I'm not encouraging people to take off a day from work, and that's not the purpose of this question. The purpose of the question is, what was the last thing you took off, or what was the last fun thing that you did?
Mm,
And you did it, and you go, wow, that was
that was
really
fun.
fun. Or that you said to yourself, man, if I had the time, I sure would like to. And I'm not talking about clean my house. I'm not talking about taking my shoes to the cobbler and having new heels and soles put on. I'm, you know, something
Talking about real
that
fun. Like,
real brings fun to your heart,
yeah.
joy to your life.
Mm,
Yeah. And
that's
not
a good
and
question.
not getting your hair done, not although your hair looks fabulous.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
The fresh waves always does a girl good.
Mhm.
Fun. That's a really good question because sometimes when you're really like in the thick of it or in the rat race, you're like, what is fun? But
Mhm.
then on the flip side, fun may just be sitting on the couch eating your favorite bag of chips.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, really, how
But
do you
but what
find
I'm asking you is to get away from your routine, because sitting on the couch and eating chips, that's
I
a
don't eat
normal
chips, but
routine for me.
yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying.
or drinking out of your red cup. That might be, routine, but going outside and taking your dog to a different part of the city and walking, going to a dog park or something.
Whew, that sounds exhausting. No.
There's
When I
nothing fun about
when I
that,
think
huh?
when I think about getting out of my routine, it literally exhausts my brain because it's like, oh, I
Oh.
really have to do more. But that's something that I'm working on, y'all. I'm working on that.
All
Yeah,
of us are works in progress. Can I tell you that? Even at my advanced age, I'm still a work in progress. I get it. I get it.
I love to hear that. I'm not alone.
So this is a lighthearted observance, as they told us. The day is called "Don't Go to Work Unless It's a Fun Day." It encourages people to take a break from their regular work routine or your weekend routine or whatever, and do something fun or enjoyable. And so the question for folks is, while Aprilette kind of ruminates on this, what's the most recent fun thing you did or plan to do? So for me, going outside in a beautiful day like today, maybe it was like about 70 degrees, maybe,
Mhm.
and going to have lunch outside at a patio situation. We didn't do that, but we went where there was, we could sit and the sun came through and had good food and good conversation. Um, but on a longer, more detailed weekend would be like driving to the mountains or to the lake
Mm,
and just being able to veg and just take, because water is, I'm a fire sign, so water is very soothing for me.
yeah.
And not just sit in Yolanda's house and hear the fountains and make me have to run to the bathroom every 5 minutes, but something that is just out of our routine.
Yeah. Okay. For me, what I really want to do that I think is going to be a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
I can't. I'm pronouncing words is hard, but it's a writing class. Like
Hmm.
when people write very pretty on stationaries and
Oh
things
yeah,
like
like the calligraphy class.
calligraphy. Yes, calligraphy class. I think that will be so much fun. Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. I think that would be so much fun. That would bring me so much joy. So I definitely want to do that, and that is on a list that I am making with my new girlfriend. That we're gonna do that. So I think that would be fun.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
My mom had real pretty handwriting, and so people would invite, well, no, they wouldn't invite her. They would ask her to do their and things
Mhm.
like that. And like you have like a calligrapher. She's like,
Like, it ain't that,
I-
but I'll do it. So
yeah,
yeah, I think
yeah,
that would be
yeah.
fun.
And so people said you should teach that, and she's like, you can't teach, that kind of thing,
Mhm.
because I have a friend, and they always used to say when we were kids, if the poorer the handwriting, the more accomplished they're going to be at something like a doctor or something. I have a
I've
friend
heard that.
who is he's a brilliant he has a brilliant mind. He's a physician, and he has beautiful handwriting.
Really. So it
Yeah.
does seem
And,
correlate.
yeah. But I really admire that. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna find a calligraphy class for you.
Yes, I think that would be so much fun. So do
Yeah.
you have good handwriting?
My handwriting is passable.
Mine is chicken scratch. It Mine is, and then my mind moves so fast. So as I'm writing, I'm always messing up my
Well, I
letters.
should say my cursive writing is better than just my printing.
Okay. The kids nowadays, they don't even know how to
They
write in
don't
cursive.
know how to cursive. Yeah.
They've stopped that. So it's obsolete at this point.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because that really is a rite of passage.
It really is. When once you learn how to write in cursive, it's like, yeah, like you feel
Yeah, I got
perceived.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an adult. Yolanda, do we have any people who want to go out there and have fun and tell us and share with us what they want to do or not? Because I got more. I
They-
got more fun things. Um, I know people like Coy are big on roller skating. I'm a klutz.
okay.
I'm a klutz. So, but I do love baseball games.
Hmm.
Ward White and I talked about going to a baseball game. My two home teams played against each other this weekend in Dallas.
Oh
The
wow. Did you
the
go?
Chicago, no, I didn't, and that was my fault. I did adult stuff. But the Chicago Cubs came to Arlington and played the
Okay.
Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers unfurled the championship banner this weekend. They
Oh
got their
wow.
their fancy schmancy championship rings, and they beat the Cubs 2 out of 3. And
Oh
I
wow.
wasn't mad at that because the Rangers are my new team.
Right.
But that's the kind of thing that I would like to do.
Brings you fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I like a good game too. I'm a game girl. Like you could take me to a baseball, definitely take me to basketball. And
Mhm.
since I'm from St. Louis and we have a wonderful hockey team, St. Louis Blues, it's just like you could even take me to a hockey game.
Yeah.
And I will find enjoyment in that. Like I'm a game girl.
My hockey going was high. I was gonna say high school, but it was college because I dated a college hockey player. They're a
Really?
different type of people.
I'm sure they
They
are.
are a different type of people, and I never went back to it because I didn't enjoy it so much because it was just I don't mind physical, but this was just too
It was
physical for
rough.
me.
It's
Yeah,
like rough and tough.
yeah,
And it's like the tough where it's just like you don't even have to be tough in this moment. It's
right.
kind of like relax a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. But I do like the fact that more and more black guys are playing hockey and that
Mhm.
they are, and they're good and they're getting the recognition that they
Yep.
deserve. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely.
Dang, nobody's rocking with us. Y'all don't wanna
Nobody. Okay,
y'all
that's
not
okay.
fun people?
That's okay.
Mm.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right.
Have you done anything with friends who are like who are dog owners? Like you all have a play date for your pups?
Really? No. Maybe I'll somebody that has a dog come hang out. Like, no, I haven't really done any dog date friend things. That's
Yeah.
interesting. And I've had Gucci for almost 13 years.
Wow. And all the places you've lived in St. Louis, Atlanta, coming to Dallas, nothing.
Girl, not one person have I hung out with just on a doggy day play date. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh
That's
wow.
crazy. Well, now I'm a
Because they usually say that when you're single and if you have a pet, you have a dog, especially, that's a good, pickup.
interesting. Well, I ain't been to a dog park in a minute, so me and Gucci might have to go to a dog park. You might want
One of the other things that I like to do is take pictures, and it's just so
Yes, you do like to take pictures.
commonplace for me that I don't know if it qualifies as a have fun, kind of thing. But um, I do love other people's children and
Mhm.
taking pictures of other people's children, and so it's just fun for me. And not the, where they're, smile,
Not that, but like
no.
in a candid type of
Right,
situation
right,
environment.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
And dogs too. I like to do
You
that
like to
too.
take pictures of dogs?
Mhm.
Gucci. Now we have us a photographer on our hands. I love that. Let me get Gucci a good bath and send him on over to the house.
So that's our question, and I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to actually ask Yolanda for permission that we can use the question that she originally suggested if she's listening, unless she's playing solitaire. Yolanda, if you are listening, can we do your question?
She must be playing solitaire.
She's playing
She's
dominoes.
not playing solitaire or dominoes. I was trying to get to the thing. What did you ask me, Sybil?
Can we go to your, because nobody's responding to this, and nobody wants to have fun. So we're looking for people who might want to respond to a question. But your question that we talked about before the show.
Oh,
I heard it was deep.
it was
It's not
Aprylette.
deep. It's not deep.
Aprylette. So you know me well enough to know I don't really stress. I am a peaceful. My life is just
Mhm.
very peaceful, and I don't let stuff bother me. And because I'm conflict solution oriented,
Yes.
but I have a whole lot of stuff that's happening in my life, a lot. And so stress, and you can really relate to this. Stress has to manifest itself. So I can't believe you making me tell this. Stress manifests itself.
You
And
didn't have to. All I was going to do was ask the question.
you gotta have a setup. You
No,
always
you
have a
don't. No,
setup.
you don't. No,
I
you
don't
don't.
care. You know I don't care.
I
So
know.
what happens
So
is,
here's the question. Here's the question.
I gotta tell it. Aprilette, I have a big dog, because you gotta hear this. I
Okay.
have a big knot
It's a
on my
sty.
eye.
Is it a
It's,
sty? I was
it's
just gonna say a sty.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what it is. And so what happens is somebody told me that that's stress. And I'm like, I don't stress. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, no, but and then just when I think about it, because I do that, it has to manifest itself some way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So Aprilette, here's it is. So I went to visit my brother today.
Mm-hmm.
And so my brother was like, whoa, what's wrong with you? April, he's like, well, I was like, what? What's that on your eye? I was like, what? You got this big. I was like, what? And so he's like, girl, you got to go to the doctor. And I was like, it's like that? And he's
Mm.
like, yeah, you need to go see about that. So when I got in the car, I was just alone. I had Sybil. I was like, Sybil, have you seen this thing on my eye? And she's like,
Have
yeah.
I?
I was like, why you let me walk around look like this?
I've been noticed it.
She didn't notice it. No, she say, you didn't see that? I was like, no, I didn't see that. She's like, how could you miss that? Aprilette, I'm walking around with half something covering my eye and I don't even see it.
Oh my goodness. And you didn't even correlate what it could have been.
It doesn't matter because I didn't see it.
Yeah. Wow.
And so the question is, I say, Sybil, so you are the girl. So you know, and Sybil is the queen of this. How her girlfriend let her walk around looking like that? She don't have a girlfriend that can pull her coattail. Everybody got to have a girlfriend to let them know. I was like, it don't seem like I got that girlfriend. If you let me walking around with half of my eye covered over, you obviously are not the girlfriend I thought you were. So the question is, I'm sorry, Sybil.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The question is, do you have somebody in your life where you need to tell them? Don't be that person. You got somebody in your life that you need to tell them, look, you need to get this checked out. Don't be that girlfriend and let your girlfriend walk around
looking crazy.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So may she rest in peace. My example for this is always the late great Aretha Franklin.
That's what Sybil says that.
Aretha Franklin is a woman of amazing talent. Can sing the rafters off of any opera house. But there are often times that Aretha's dress was not appropriate, or at least I felt was not appropriate. And nobody, as far as I could tell, because she would continue to wear these dresses, in which not only did her talents overflow, but so did her breasts. And so I thought somebody should say, because Yolanda will always say, look in the camera, you can see what I see.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, nobody ever said to Aretha, can you see what I see?
Right.
And with Yolanda, this is not the first time she's had this sty thing.
So that's funny, Aprylete. I don't even remember the other one. She's like, remember you had it before. I'm like, I did.
And perhaps it was the way I asked, because I was like, what's going on with your eye? And
she's like, nothing.
Right. I was like,
what do you mean?
And I thought it's because lashes or something. Maybe there was a lash that caused it. But this is really pronounced.
If she didn't eat, she's going around like la 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 la.
That's exactly what I'm saying. you hear that la 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 too?
Yeah. So Aprylete, have you ever had something, or have you ever had to be that person who has had to tell a friend?
Honestly, I feel like at some point, yes, like just even something simple. But what's coming to my mind is like when somebody breath stinks. And it's like, you just got it. Like, baby, you need some gum. Like, I just keep on coming to mind with breath, like stinky breath.
But do you say something to your friends?
So I would be the friend, absolutely. But again, you got to do it with friends that know your heart posture, because some people really take offense, even if they could be your bestest friend. And it's like, girl, you know I didn't mean no harm when I said that.
Right. They know your heart. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little, but I can't think of a situation on the top of my head, but I'm sure I've been in a situation.
That's a good one, though, because that is a good one. Like if your girlfriend had foul breath, would you say something? So would you say something?
I would be like, you want some gum? And then
That's what she says. No,
you get responses now, Sybil.
TYO Dimples on YouTube says offer them gum or mints. Okay, so TYO, if they say no,
and then if they're my friend, it's like, girl, your breath is stinking. Like your breath stinking.
No, really, take this.
Like your breath stinking. And then it's like you gotta say it in the tone where you can be like, girl, your breath stinking. And then she's like, I do. And then you kind of laugh at it, like, girl, here gonna come.
One time we were doing a Sky show. And it was a real sexy singer was on stage, and Yolanda's as a producer was to get them, through the dressing room and on stage and for the performance. And they were coming to me and saying, so and so really needs a mint. She was that person. Would you like a mint, Mr. So and so? So she knows what it's like to do that, but hearing it is not necessarily her thing. C.M. Williams says, leave a note on their car.
But that's a great idea.
And a tin full of mints.
But I would want to be I would
would too,
Aprylete. Tell me now if anything is going on that you would not have on yourself. Tell me, please.
And Aprylete, and what's interesting about this is I don't really get embarrassed easily because I don't really care about stuff. But more importantly, I want to be better. So tell me, tell me. But so why haven't you, Sybil? So why didn't you tell me? You know I could take it.
I told you.
She said, "What's up with your eye?"
I said the thing on your eye is returned and it's bigger. I swear on my mama's ashes. This is on my mama's ashes today. But I swear I told you that. I didn't just think it in my mind. I told you.
So now that you know, what are we doing about it? I'm just making sure.
It just happened. It just happened like within the past hour. Like right before we got, that's why it's so fresh. That's what she was talking about.
So did you call and make an appointment?
I have not. It's like that, Sybil.
Look, well, tomorrow when you wake up and it's like this.
Well, the first thing I need to do is look in the mirror because I'm obviously missing something.
Look in the camera. Look, you tell me.
You see what we see. Look in the camera.
I hate you, Sybil. Let me just get you a couple of questions.
Charlotte Bowen Bellamy on Facebook. I am that person that will tell you. My bonus daughter will tell you, I will let you know. Do it in love. Yolanda, I love you. Dad's Go Clothing on YouTube says, I'm that girlfriend that lets them know. Yolanda is too. She is too. But she doesn't hear it.
And it's a lot of folks that's out here telling the story because there's a lot of folks out here walking around like they don't have friends that will let them know.
Right. All right.
And she will tell you ain't ish in a heartbeat.
Oh, so you know what? Sip, I'm glad we're talking about this because I'm getting some so forget your little show. I'm getting some medical advice.
Ian Williams
Boric acid.
says boric acid used to clear. Okay, doctor, I'm going to need to see you your medical.
You need your credentials.
Anytime you talk about acid, yeah.
Okay, well, I got it.
Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook. It's a recurring. You may want to get checked out by a physician.
And let me tell you something. I can't stand people. It's a good thing I don't care what people say.
Tab B on YouTube says, I can see it, Yolanda. Signed Stevie Wonder.
That is too funny.
Yolanda, you have such a great sense of humor. You really do. You really do.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
thank you for co-signing everybody, and Yolanda, thank you for being a good sport.
You're funny.
We're going to move to trending, and this is a very important day in history. Today is April 4th. It was 56 years ago today, in 1968, that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated as he stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. He was shot and killed, and the time varies. They say 5:30, they say 6:05 p.m. As he stood on the balcony of the Hotel Lorraine Motel as he was visiting the African American garbage workers, or I'm sorry, as they now prefer, sanitation workers who were on strike for the city of Memphis. Martin Luther King III, his wife Andrea, and their daughter Yolanda Renee King made a rare visit. They don't go to Memphis, Tennessee as a rule. Today, the 56th anniversary, the family did go to what the Lorraine Motel is now the Civil Rights Museum. Yeah. And so they did go to this, and others, including his, and there are only two King children remaining. It's Martin III and it's Reverend Bernice King. Right. Other family members gathered Thursday to mark the anniversary with a wreath-laying ceremony at the crypt at the King Center Freedom Plaza on Auburn Avenue, where not only was this a big part of the King's life, but where Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King are interred. And so the ceremony was led by Reverend Bernice King. She is the CEO of the King Center. And at 5:30 this evening, the National Park Service held a candlelight observance and a wreath laying at the Ebenezer Church at 407 Auburn Avenue. And the wreath was placed in front of the church. And the bell tolled for 56 times.
Wow.
In honor of Dr. King, who was not only was this his home church, he was baptized, he preached at Ebenezer, and then came back as an adult and preached at Ebenezer. And this was also where his funeral was held 5 days later, on April 9th, 1968.
Now, I know his birthday's in January, but how old would he be if he was with us?
1929, I think, was the year he was born. So that is what? 80, 90? 90.
Okay, wow.
95.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He was rushed to nearby St. Joseph Hospital. He died at 7:05. So things happened pretty quickly. As Reverend and two of the few people that are still alive are Reverend Jesse Jackson, and also Ambassador Andrew Young. Yeah. Just in terms of history, I remember my mother's reaction on the day that this happened. And I remember just the tears that just flowed, and how the streets were, they were ready for, a real riot,
Yeah.
because it was revealed that a
In
white man,
Chicago. This is the reaction in Chicago.
in other cities too, it
Right.
wasn't
Yeah,
just
that's
Chicago,
powerful.
yeah. James Earl Ray, was a man who was arrested and
Mm.
held for his murder, his assassination. And it was one of four major assassinations in the 1960s, starting off with John Kennedy, the president, in 1963, the assassination of Malcolm X in
Mm.
1965. Then it was Dr. King in 1968, in April of 68, and then in June of 68, Robert Kennedy Sr., was assassinated while he was running for president, and that was in Los Angeles in the
Mm.
ballroom of a hotel. And then, I'm not laughing at this, but um, if you all watched the movie, has anybody seen Shirley?
On Netflix?
Shirley Chisholm? Yeah,
Yeah. Nope, I
it-
didn't, but it's
it's so
out.
good. She is so
Okay.
good. But they also talk about George Wallace, who was the racist governor of Alabama, and he was shot. He did not die, but he was shot and incapacitated. He was shot him in the spine, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
So he was unable to walk. And she went to visit him, and so that was 1972. Nobody ever tried to kill Richard Nixon. I don't know what it was. My mother used to say it was because Spiro Agnew was his vice president, and nobody wanted to deal with Spiro Agnew, who
Mm.
eventually resigned. Um, there were attempts
He
made.
resigned as vice president.
Yeah, he got into some bad stuff when he was governor of Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. And so those things came back, and he resigned. And Gerald Ford was named by Richard Nixon to be his vice president. And then
Mm.
Gerald Ford took over when Nixon resigned in the summer of '74. And Gerald Ford's it was attempts on Gerald Ford's life, and then it was a quiet period of time until Ronald Reagan
Mhm.
in 1981. And then when you think the world is just crazy enough, then they try to kill the Pope. Remember Pope John Paul? Someone tried to kill the Pope,
What
and
year was that?
I think that was around the same time, like maybe
Wow.
81. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So all of this was a part of my childhood,
Yeah.
understanding this,
Right.
and not understanding it, but accepting it for what
Yeah.
it was, because you have all of my mother's life, except for like what was it, Mussolini that they tried to kill, and Hitler, but the bad guys, but these people, and killed
So,
them.
Sybil, I have a question for you. So, when you think about like the period, especially and this is my ignorance, I'm gonna say out loud so nobody have to say it. Just the lack of knowledge. It was so much turmoil
Hmm.
in the 60s and the 70s with these and even 80s with the assassination attempts, and and it was awful. So you people who tell us to go out and vote and all of that this is the worst it's ever been, it seems like that was some pretty.
And you know what? I was thinking
Man.
about that today, Yolanda, because I was thinking how I wanted to kind of put this into the show, and I was thinking today it's a different kind of worse, because
Okay.
uh, nobody has respect for the law today.
Mm.
Not nobody.
I understand.
Those that went to the Capitol and tried to overturn our
Mhm.
government
Right.
have no
I
respect for the
understand.
law. The things they did to policemen who were trying to save our senators and Congress people, and they were, the things that they sprayed on them, and did to them to create infirmities that they'll never recover from.
Right.
But it was a different kind of, and it wasn't as if they were just going after one person. They were going after the system.
Yeah. The
They were
whole.
going after the government.
Ooh, that's a good point. I see
And,
that now.
and it's a different kind. I mean, I remember we were under COVID protocols, and I remember being at your house and just walking out and going, "What the world is going on the
Yeah.
day of the insurrection?" But as a kid, that wasn't, I was like, "Oh, this is horrible," but not understanding the effects that something like this can have on a generation of people, and
Right.
violence that just was wrought upon our
Violence, yeah.
society. And the craziest thing is that Ronald Reagan was not in favor of gun control. The man who shot him went to jail, and now he's out of prison, and he's playing music and trying to get jobs at a bar. Playing
Really?
his music,
Wow.
yeah. And Ronald Reagan never changed his stance on gun control.
Wow.
But the
Mm.
man who suffered brain damage, James Brady, his press secretary, did change his stance, and
He did.
they started an anti-gun program. He and his wife.
Mhm.
But it's just crazy.
Right.
How crazy! I mean, this is our world. This is our
This
history.
is our world that we live in.
Yeah.
But my point, and I'm sure you'll make the correlation. It's always been crazy. I mean, when I saw, of course I don't have any recall, but when I look at the old footage of how people were treated with water hose and
And that's the
all,
thing, yeah, yeah. Because Yolanda, you're right. Because when we do the stories on Bloody Sunday, and
yeah,
how John Lewis was beaten within an inch of his life,
Yeah.
right,
what is worse? You can't say, oh, that's much worse than, because it was all horrific, and the way they treated Black people for scores of years, for
right.
generations.
Well,
Yeah.
then there's that. Yeah,
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 Yeah.
yeah. That's all I'm saying, and putting it in perspective. And yeah, I do believe that we need to be active, and we need
yeah.
to be thoughtful about how we live our lives and who we elect and all of that. And I'm not saying it's not that bad, because it is bad.
Yeah.
But
Well, think about this. Think about this, and this is what I always try to stress to Coy is the level of violence that police bring upon Black people, whether they're driving over them, whether they are choking them to death. All of these things are horrific. But it's almost as if, well, not so bad.
right. Well,
Yeah.
we're not
It's
saying
all
that.
bad. It's
But
all bad.
you're right. You're right. I received that.
It's all
You're
bad.
right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that I'm one of those, because having watched the life go out of George Floyd's body,
Mhm.
that that's enough to change your life about the way people treat each other,
Yeah.
Right.
and how people are supposed to answer to those
Amen.
actions,
Yep.
Amen. I
and
received
and,
that.
and take you back to a man of peace,
Right.
a man who wanted you he would take it, just like Jackie Robinson, he
Mhm.
turned the other cheek.
Mhm. Yep.
And here we are.
Yep.
Here we are. I'm going to talk about something a little bit lighter. I'm on Aprylette. I don't know if you know this, but we're going to be watching the solar eclipse on Monday.
Oh, fun. Where are you guys watching it from?
But we're going outside the door.
Oh, just okay.
We're in the path of totality.
Okay, no cute little
But-
festival and
but
stuff.
I'm
Did you know
on-
what Miss Astrology said last time? What did she say? Not watch it, or did she say watch it with girlfriends?
No, she said watch it. Yeah.
Oh, she said
Yeah.
watch it. Okay.
And we got people who are coming into town, and I'm on sky patrol. I'm keeping my head to the sky, not for any kind of, oh, you're so positive. Keep your head to the sky. No, I'm looking to see when those damn clouds are coming through.
Yeah. Do you have your special glasses?
I do, and I meant to bring them in, and I forgot. But yeah, I bought the glasses for the group. April 8th, the total solar eclipse in North Texas. It's still looking cloudy.
Mm. So, clouds, would that mean that it's going to be hard? Well, clearly, it's going to be hard to see it.
So that's the point. A lot of high clouds, they say on Monday, will mean that there's still the possibility of seeing the solar eclipse. But if there are low clouds, that means that because they're high, they tend to be thinner and more transparent. The low clouds means that they're real full, and you're not going to be able to see the eclipse very easily. And the totality for the eclipse will be from 1:40 Monday afternoon Central Time to 1:44.
Oh wow! So if you
Aprylette, and we go drive 2 hours away somewhere to see this for 4 minutes.
Baby,
is my girlfriend caught up or what?
I have traveled further for less.
Yes, she has. Aprylette, we let me tell you something. We went all the way. Where did we go? Wisconsin. Is that where we went?
No, Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Y'all drove to Wyoming?
No,
we went. We flew.
We flew, but we ended up paying $600 to stay in a Motel 6. That's how crowded this city was. To see, and it wasn't even 4 minutes.
It wasn't 4 minutes.
To see what?
The eclipse.
To see the eclipse, to see the moon eclipse the sun. And I'm telling you, it's bright, like a bright August.
My girlfriend be on some stuff or what?
It's like, did it change your life? Was it a moment like? Because baby, ain't no way.
It really does. I didn't cry, but it's so cool.
Is it broadcast? Is it televised? Can I catch it on
the eclipse will be televised?
Because I'm like, if I can catch it on a 7 p.m., then I'm good.
You know what, Aprylete? I didn't think about that.
Darn you. Sorry, you gotta go. Okay, show's over for Aprylete. Let's
I don't do too much. I don't like to overexert. I don't.
It was a lot, but you know what? To be honest with you, they loved it. The people who I went with,
she was such a good sport.
They had so much.
She was thinking like you, Aprylete. She's like, I'll be damned. I know we didn't come all the way here with all these white folks looking at us because we were only
3 minutes.
We really were.
We were like 4 Black people.
Wow.
And it was my birthday. So it was like, okay, so we'll celebrate. We'll go see.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
So it was 1 Black person and 3 halves.
So that takes it down a notch.
Yeah, because I was the only one. Because those 3, but it was beautiful watching them. I love to see my girlfriend happy, and
that's what she did. She wasn't a Debbie Downer. You know, I know we didn't come here for all some bull. You know, she was like, yeah, you liked it, yay! I'm glad for you.
And that brings her joy. So it's just like you had a good trip. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
and
Aprylete, this is for you.
ABC is having a live broadcast. There's Carl Hodges on Facebook. Okay, so you can.
So maybe we should tell Stephen Hill that. So he don't have to come to Texas to see it. He can just turn on ABC.
And more importantly, his wife, who is coming with him, who's like, I can't believe I'm going with this Negro to see.
Make sure y'all have some snacks afterwards for the folks that's coming in town. Make it into
no. They got plans. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no. It's an event.
Okay.
Because then they got to sit and talk about it. They got to talk about that 4 minutes afterwards.
We have solar teenies.
Ooh, solar teenies.
See? Okay. I just made that up, but wouldn't you like to have one?
So you in for that, huh, Aprylete? Now you're in.
She was in.
That changes the game just a little bit. I'm gonna like a solar teeny before the 4 minutes. Yeah.
and once again, I'm gonna tell you, I have drunk more for less. I'm just telling you.
Y'all are cute.
We're gonna close out with our entertainment, and Yolanda, I'm gonna ask you to read the jewel because I don't have this.
Okay.
Serena Williams in entertainment is saying that leaving tennis has not been easy on her. She says she said, I miss me, meaning that person who was the queen of the courts.
Yeah.
The 23-time Grand Slam champion is spending her time boosting new business ventures and being a mom of 2. She says stepping away from tennis hasn't been easy and shared that she recently got a lot of joy by watching someone else, and that was watching LSU's Angel Reese play in the Elite 8. Right. So, I mean, it's good to know that people have that same feeling for others that you do, but consider that, that's a lot for the better part of her life. She's been the star of all of this. And now she said she was evolving. Well, her evolution apparently is complete. And so she's, content with her girls and boosting businesses, but she says, I miss me.
I bet.
Hopefully she can maybe incorporate just getting on that court, just for leisure and maybe find a newfound joy in it.
Girls.
Pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe so. And then have her daddy just come out the house. That's not the way you hit a backhand, girl.
That's how you hear it.
That's how I hear Mr. Williams. Yeah.
Backhand,
Funny.
girl.
He's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yep. He is, and Mrs. Williams is still alive too. She's an incredible one. She just had a birthday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
She's an incredible woman. They are very lucky
You
to
know
have her.
everything, Sybil.
She
Like,
Aprylete.
how do you,
She
How
really
did you randomly know that she just had a birthday? Like, is that your
Aprylete.
home girl?
because Aprylete, in our newsletter, we do birthday shout outs.
We do the birthday.
Yeah, but so you every day you do one, so you can't remember what you do. So
Yeah,
She and
is.
Melody Hobson were born on the same day.
Okay.
sweetheart, before we close out, can we acknowledge?
Dora Lavette Tiggs on Facebook buried my sister-in-law today. Thanks for the laughter. I really needed this today. God bless you. And we are praying for you and your family.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope that her transition has been an easy one for her and for you, and may her memory be a blessing for you.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Yolanda, will you close us out, sister?
Yeah, so I
Sister
want to tell
White?
you, thank you for giving me an opportunity. So, Aprylette, as you know, this week it has been about being patient. And when I tell you that, God has really been speaking with me this week. And so today, and Sybil, I haven't read it, but it is in relationships, being patient is a form of kindness.
Mhm.
Amen.
Well, you've
Giving
been very
others,
kind today.
but there's more.
Okay.
Giving others the space to express themselves fully and openly, Sybil. I'll read it again. In relationships, Chica, are you with us? Can you hear Chica? In relationships, being patient is a form of kindness, giving others the space to express themselves fully and openly.
I'll give you enough rope. And you know who you are.
Shut up, girl. Oh, look at the time.
Thanks, everybody. Aprilette, thank you. Great
Thank
job. And
you.
thanks for everybody who participated today. And Yolanda, let's call and get that eye looked at, shall we?
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.